Welcome to this week's video. It's not really a Feed Me Friday, it's more of a Feed Me Friday. I can't say it. It's more of a Feed Me Friday with a Sandbag Sunday, and the reason for that is I spoke to a few people at Crick, and this is the inspiration for this video. It does appear that there's a lot of viewers that like Sandbag Sundays, less so Feed Me Fridays, but the bit that inspired me more than anything was a conversation I had with a couple at Crick, and they said to me, I really do like your Feed Me Fridays. A family member on board. That family member lost his wife some time ago, and he fed himself sandwiches, biscuits, cake, crisps, that sort of stuff, because he lost the confidence in cooking. And they said, well, why don't you watch this fellow on a narrowboat? He does some cooking and it's really simple food, and apparently it's quite tasty. I don't know whether they've tried it, but by all accounts, the family member did, and he's gone to cooking. I think that's great. It's a really heartwarming story, but that's inspired me to make one of my favouriteest dishes. I can't take ownership of this because wife number one, this was something that she fed us as a family, and we all really enjoyed it. And then when I looked after the kids, I needed to try it out a few times before I got it right. And it is probably my favouriteest, along with mince and beans, along with pork, and you know, glazed with sugar and mustard, and all sorts of other stuff that I cook. And I'm going to do a little bit more cooking. It's not necessarily a cooking channel. I think part of my whole channel thing is about life on a narrowboat for a single bloke. I don't profess to have the ability to keep people entertained like the younger generation, who class them, they've got a lot more viewers than me, they have a lot more subscribers than me, and I think they've worked out something called the SEO. Search Engine Optimization. I'm not very good at that. So if you know anything about SEO, and you want to help me out, that would be great, because that way I could reach more people. And the word influencer, I never classed myself as being an influencer. I'm just a bloke on a boat doing blokey things, and I bet people are thinking, what's he doing on? What's he doing? And I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just living my life. I don't sensationalise anything, because I don't feel life is worth sensationalising, because it's just an ordinary life doing ordinary things. But it does appear that I have influenced a few people, and there's a number of people that spoke to me over the weekend, over the Crick weekend. Don't buy a narrowboat through the content of influencers, please. I don't class myself as an influencer, but buy one because you want to, and because it's a lifestyle of choice. For me, it's never been a lifestyle of choice. I would rather live in a house, have easy life. But the narrowboat first video I ever put out, when I said, if I don't like it, I've got to grow to like it, because this is the only choice I have to live. I've got something of my own which is bought and paid for, sacrificed from 6 years of saving instead of spending, which allowed me to buy this boat. Run the intro. Now my setup here, I've got my other camera that I'm going to show you my setup, because I'm not doing it differently. I've done this before. So there's that camera, the main camera that focuses on me, generally speaking. I'm doing my phone on a gimbal, which is the first time I've used that. I've got an overhead cam here, if you can focus, and I've also got a GoPro there. Ordinarily I would have this camera set up somewhere, but I'm kind of going to do this like a move-in thing that gives me flexibility of showing you realistically. Well, for this I need some onions, I need some lemon juice, a tin of tuna, some pasta, some corn flour, and some cheese. In the words of Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, any cheese will do. I close my... Anyway, there we go. So any cheese will do. And some mushrooms if you got some. I have some mushrooms, but they're frozen mushrooms. And I was thinking about... well, I need to use them up. And you need a pan. Alright. So here goes then. Oh, I got some manky potatoes there, look. And these potatoes are proper old, but every time I open that drawer, it makes me realise I need to use them up. So, pan. So here we go. I need some Olivia oil. Probably a bit much actually. However, a bit of gas. Should warm that up first. So whilst that's warming up, half an onion. Now you can do more than half an onion. Now the thing is with this dinner meal is, once upon a time, one tin of tuna used to feed 4 people. Now, one tin of tuna feeds, well, 2. But when you're just cooking for one person, it is a bit of a nightmare because it's a bit too much for one person. You can't really keep it. Once you've eaten it, you can't keep it. So make a bit more pasta because you'll want seconds just to eat it up. I always do that. Anyway, the Mark 1 clasp knife that does my can opening does it particularly well as well. Yeah, I've had this clasp knife good 30 years or so, and it's still going strong. No moving parts. Used to have a tin opener in compo rations. They were good as well. Don't know where that's gone. Now I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, and I don't really add an awful lot of stuff because, well, I like plain cooking, to be honest with you. Get the mushrooms out. It says inspired to cook sliced mushrooms. That's good. I have a new kettle thing. That was not donated, but it was given, it's lent to me until I get one. This is a fishing kettle, and I have one of these things, and I use that. Now I saw a fella called Dennis who went round his boat for a chat, and he had one of these for making tea and coffee, and I thought that's a good idea, that. And then I went round to Pat and Karen's boat, and they had the same thing, different setup, but they had a small kettle. Also, that's a good idea. I've got some of these as my emergency gas, so I use this now just for making tea, and what a difference it makes, because that burns hotter, and that's very thin aluminium. It takes no time at all to cook, well, to boil the water, and it's just ideal for making tea and coffee and things like that. 2 cups big. Bobby Dazzler. Come on. turn the gas up a bit. Stick the tuna in there and let that heat through. As you know, I do tend to pick a little bit the dregs of the tin stuff and stuff like that. Lovely stuff. Oh, also you need a chicken oxide cube, and you need a little bit of hot water, which gives me chance to boil the kettle, as it happens. Meanwhile, give this a bit of a stirring. Now I'll probably put a bit too much olive oil in, to be honest with you, but olive oil is good for you. So I said in a video not so long ago that I want to start running again, and I started running, and then I found I couldn't walk up and down the steps. My knees are shot, absolutely broken, so I'm afraid I can't do any running, so I won't be able to do that park run, which is a great shame. So I need to do more cycling and walking. Now, next thing is to add some of this lemon juice. I'm not sure when you add it, but it kind of needs to be added at some stage or other. Enough to flavour, and I think that's the important thing, so I don't know how much. But taste the lemony stuff. Oh, it is nice. Does make a difference. And then give it a bit of a stir. So whilst that's flavouring with the lemon, give that a lick. Pan on. Because generally speaking, it doesn't take long to make this lunch, dinner, food. Where did I put that? Here. Job done. Open these windows, and basically that's it. Oh, and the kettle's boiled, look. So to add a little bit of juicy type stuff, that's boiling quite nicely. Give it a bit of a burst. I don't know what this does for flavour wise, to be honest. I haven't got a clue, but it makes a difference, because if you don't put it in, the taste is different. So it's like a cup of chicken oxo cube, and you just add it up and bring that to the boil. And once that's done, pretty much, other than adding corn flour and cheese, that's job. That's it, finished. How good's that? How easy is that to cook? And it tastes remarkable. If I could smell a gram, it smells of lemony, cheesy tuna with pasta. Give it the chef's whisk. Now, when I said earlier on that this isn't a lifestyle of choice, this was something that I needed, you know, to live on a narrowboat for a reason. You can't get a mortgage at 50 plus, and it's very difficult. So this gave me the best choice, the best standard of living that I could have, really. Now, I met a fella not so long ago. I moored up behind him by chance, and he lives on £450 a month. Now, of that, he spends a bit on cooking, you know, food and all that malarkey, and he saves for his river licence, and he saves for his insurance and all that stuff, but he hasn't got an awful lot of money to spare. So life on a boat can be cheap. I make no bones about it. I'm able to live on my pension and able to save some as well. So I'm not as, you know, not as frugal as perhaps this other fella needs to be. which allows me to buy a pram hood, and I must say that pram hood is a game changer, as is this setup here. Game changer. Honestly, absolutely, give it a go. If you don't do it, consider doing it, because I don't turn this gas on, and as this burns a lot hotter with that, takes no time to boil a kettle. The time it takes to have some pasta cooked, because I do like this. I've not fed myself all day so I can have this meal, and probably 2 helpings of it. And also, this was going to be for microwave. I am so glad I never got a microwave. So glad. Run the adverts. I've just sliced some cheese up. Any cheese will do. I generally have extra mature cheddar, because I eat half of it before I put it in there. Bit naughty really. I'm bound to have to cut some more. I don't know what I'm doing with this, and I really don't know. And it's all a big cuff, but a couple of these things, oh, it gets everywhere, doesn't it? Proper gets everywhere, that corn flour, and it's quite hard to find. Don't find it in many shops, but in this place where I got this, they seem to stock it. Bending over. I'll tell you the other thing is my back. Running didn't hurt me, didn't make my back any good either. Right, splash of milk with the corn flour. Then the aim of this is just to thicken up whatever's in that pan. So I add a little bit here and a little bit there until it's nice and thick. It's all a big cuff. I haven't used that GoPro. Bit of a waste of time that, wasn't it? Just need to add some of this stuff. Like I say, you add it a little bit at a time. And you can smell the lemon. I think it might need quite a bit of thickening because I put too much olive oil in. Although, does taste nice already. I mean, proper. That corn flour doesn't. Now I don't know if normal flour works the same as corn flour. Don't know. Clueless. Proper nice that is. Right, now I need to cut some more cheese. I'm a bit of a cheese freak, to be honest with you. I have got a grater, but that means more washing up. Can't be bothered. So basically you just got to melt the cheese until it goes into almost a thick gooey sauce. Gooey of cheesy and cheesy and lemony, tuna-y, with some onions and mushrooms and a chicken oxo cube. And when it becomes a thick sauce like that, it's kind of, you need to serve it up. It's ready. Now people say, do you need to add salt and pepper? If you want to. I think there's sufficient salt in food, and I don't really need to add salt. Oh, look at that. Proper. When it just about sticks to the spoon. Oh, put it all on a plate. Turn that off, because it's done. I hope my pasta's done. I should have warmed the plate up, but never mind. Slam it on there and pour that over the top. Now, the presentation, to be honest, could be improved upon, but the taste, I don't think can be. I don't care. You can add whatever you want to it, but it is. The kids liked it. I like it. Delish. And if you haven't got enough pasta left, eat the rest of it out of the pan. Give this a go. I don't think you'd be disappointed. It is easy because I can make it, and I think Let me know below if you try it out and it becomes a favouriteest meal. Maybe it won't. It's certainly very nice. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing if you have. If you haven't subscribed, give it a go, because I don't just do cooking. I do narrowboating, I tell stories, I talk to people, I interview people, I visit all sorts of things on the way round. I'm not very good, I get it, but it's real life boating from a bloke on a boat. Ciao, Papa.